Did you know the Quran contains statements that humanity only discovered through science centuries later? Statements made at a time when there were no telescopes, no microscopes, and no scientific instruments of any kind? The Quran isn't a science textbook, and it was never meant to be one. But scattered throughout its verses are references so precise that researchers across multiple fields have paused to ask a simple question. How could anyone possibly have known this 1400 years ago? Today we'll explore 5 of these remarkable references, examine what the Quran actually says, and compare it to what science eventually discovered. The first miracle points toward the Big Bang Theory. In Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 30, Allah says, "Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were a joint entity, and we separated them?" In the 7th century, civilizations around the world held wildly different beliefs about the origin of the universe. Myths of God shaping order from chaos, or the idea of eternal, unchanging heavens. Yet the Quran describes something entirely different. A single joined mass later split apart. It wasn't until the 20th century, through Einstein's work and later observational evidence like cosmic background radiation, that scientists arrived at the Big Bang Theory, the idea that the universe expanded from a single, incredibly dense point. The second miracle describes the stages of human development inside the womb. In Surah Al-Mu'minun, verses 12 to 14, Allah describes a precise sequence. First a drop of fluid, then something clinging like a clot of blood, called alaqah, then a lump of flesh called mugha, then bones forming within that lump, and finally flesh covering those bones. What makes this remarkable isn't just that the stages are mentioned, but how accurately they're described. Early-stage embryos, observed under a microscope, genuinely resemble something clinging, attaching itself to the uterine wall. This entire staged sequence was only mapped out by embryologists using tools that didn't exist for well over 1,000 years after these verses were revealed. The third miracle concerns how mountains are anchored into the earth. In Surah An-Naba, verses 6 and 7, Allah asks, "Have we not made the earth a resting place and the mountains as stakes?" The word used suggests something driven deep into the ground, like a tent peg. For centuries, mountains were simply understood as large rock formations rising above the surface. It wasn't until modern plate tectonics that scientists discovered mountains actually have deep roots extending far below the surface, often many times deeper than their visible height, functioning almost exactly like stakes that stabilize the Earth's crust. The fourth miracle describes a barrier between two seas. In Surah Ar-Rahman, verses 19 and 20, Allah says, "He released the two seas, meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier they do not transgress." At first, this might sound purely poetic, yet modern oceanography has confirmed a genuine phenomenon at certain points where seas meet, particularly where the Mediterranean Sea meets the Atlantic Ocean near the Strait of Gibraltar. Differences in salinity, density, and temperature create a natural boundary zone that prevents the waters from immediately mixing, a phenomenon oceanographers only fully understood using modern instruments. The fifth miracle involves something incredibly personal, our own fingerprints. In Surah Al-Qiyamah, verses 3 and 4, Allah poses a rhetorical question about resurrection, specifically mentioning His ability to restore even the tips of a person's fingers with precision. This specific mention of fingertips, rather than any other body part, is significant. It wasn't until the late 1800s that forensic scientists systematically confirmed fingerprints are entirely unique to each individual, a discovery that became the foundation of modern criminal investigation. Now, when we step back and consider these 5 examples together, the origin of the universe, the precise stages of embryonic development, the anchoring roots of mountains, the invisible barrier between certain seas, and the uniqueness of fingerprints, a clear pattern emerges. Each of these facts required tools and scientific methods that simply did not exist in the 7th century. There were no satellites to observe cosmic radiation, no microscopes to study embryos, no equipment to map mountain routes, no instruments to measure oceanic salinity, and no forensic laboratories to study skin ridges. This raises a profound question that has led many scholars and scientists to reconsider the true nature of the Quran. A single unusually accurate statement might be dismissed as coincidence. But 5 separate, unrelated fields of science, cosmology, embryology, geology, oceanography, and forensics, all aligning with a text revealed 1400 years ago, is far harder to explain away as chance. These scientific miracles do more than create intellectual curiosity. They serve as a powerful reinforcement of faith. When ancient verses repeatedly align with modern discoveries, verified only through advanced instruments, it becomes increasingly difficult to view these correlations as mere coincidence. For many believers, this alignment strengthens their conviction that the Quran carries truths embedded long before humanity possessed the tools to verify them. If this video deepened your appreciation for these connections, please follow this channel as we continue exploring more remarkable facts, stories, and reflections rooted in the Quran and Islam.